run our offense, and then you know, we pressed a lot. You know, we got them to turn it over, but you go back and look at film at it. Sometimes it played into their favor because we started to play faster ourselves. So we have to, you know, I think, slow the tempo down and make it a more methodical type game, and then, you know, press when we need. And but I think for sure, when we don't press, we're a lot more effective in the full court. You know, as far as on offense and offensive transition. So we'll adjust there, and I really do that. You know, we got some things that we're really good at that we got to make sure that we're doing. And then they're leading the conference in offensive rebounds, so we got to keep them off the boards. We really do got to keep them off the boards and do a better job.
You mentioned slowing down the game. Considering that teams are typically, you're looking at trying to win 3 or 4 games, do these games in conference tournament, do they kind of naturally slow down whether you're trying to or not?
I think they would naturally slow down, except for Troy.
Okay.
I mean, they just want to. I mean, they really want to shoot it every 10, 15 seconds. You know, they just really and you know, to me, they've been pretty effective at what they do. So we would like to be. You know, for us, you know, we can't settle for the first 3. I mean, we shot more threes than anybody else in the conference. You know, but our percentage is the worst. So it's something that we need to make sure that we're a little bit more patient. If we get that 3 at the beginning of the shot clock, we're going to get it at the end. So that's going to be something that we need to do a little bit better job. And I'll tell you, our guards are very good penetrators and stuff like that. So we got to make sure that we get dribble penetration and try to get some touches inside. I think that's going to be big. We scored 42 against them the second half last game. So that's kind of something we're looking at in the offenses we run, and get a little bit more touches inside. It's going to be help to kind of slow it down too, I think.
When you look at where you were at this point last year going in and with this team, what's the biggest difference that may have this team better equipped for the tournament, or is that how you see it? How do you compare the two?
I think the maturity's there, and I think they believe in our coaching staff. I really do. I mean, I think that's, you know, it's funny. I talked to Jake DeLome during the week. He's coaching a little bitty team at Hawaii. They won a regional champion. He said, man, this women's basketball and this girls' basketball is such mental. And man, it's right. It's about mental. It's not always about the X and O's. It's about, can I get our team to get confident in what they do really good and do it really good. And you know, it's like, I think this year compared to last year, we developed a culture. The culture is about playing hard and working hard. Now do we have the strategy? Because now, if they believe in our culture, the strategy is going to work a little bit better. Even though it may not be a huge. I mean, we try not to do too much of, you know, bring in too much what Troy is going to do. But I think we're on pace to be, you know, something to reckon with in our conference. I really believe. You know, I think with less injuries, we could have been in the top 2 or 3. You know, now we're developed a culture that I really believe. When we were in the airport coming back yesterday, I saw some wide-eyed kids that said, "Hey, let's go into." They're ready to play in the tournament. You know? I like that attitude, and it's created through the culture over the last 3 years. But maturity, and it takes some maturity too. You know, can we be mature enough to withstand? Troy's going to not stop coming. So can we withstand that? So it's going to be to me, it's fun. You know, it's March Madness, and I always say we're mad right now, so we're ready to go.
Their guards are their main scorers, and obviously it's with Kia being your top defender, and then the guard matchup is a big deal. But considering that Renita Garrett had 19 rebounds and then 10 rebounds in both games, is it kind of a big deal what happens after they shoot the ball on making sure you get a defensive rebound?
Oh, there's no doubt. You know, it's like I'm looking at, you know, the Beverly kid is, you know, second leading scorer in the conference and was leading scorer at one time, averaging almost 18 points a game. And then the Garry kid, what is she? You know, she's a 6-foot post or guard or what? You know. And, you know, we had great discussions on how we're going to stop her. And I thought maybe put Kia on it. You know, Kia's 5'5" and jump out the gym. And my coaches are totally against it. You know, and I'm like, man, that might be our best bet. If she's going to get 19 rebounds, let's get after her. But then at the same time, you got the Beverly kid that can score. So you know, there's some problems that poses, you know, from that. But you're totally right. They lead the conference in offensive rebounds. So they're kind of shooting the ball and they go and get it. So we got to keep them off the boards. And the Garry kid is extremely talented. You know, she's can handle the ball. She's got. I mean, they started off the play with the, you know, turnaround jumper off the block. And I don't really know how you can double it all you want. You can't really stop that. So it's going to be a tough matchup. But if we limit them to one shot, it's going to be big for us. Can we do that? You know, so it's going to take some work, but I think we can do it.
Coach, in that half we scored 42 points. Was that because I'm trying to remember that half, but were you guys able to do that off of maybe trapping some of your defense or pressing? That's basically.
There was a lot in our half court. You know, we didn't. You know, that was kind of one of those games where we made some steals and we created some turnovers, but we didn't finish on it. We gave it right back. But our half court offense was a lot better. I know Coach Deacon Jones was very upset at halftime that we wasn't getting any touches to Simone Garrett. I mean Simone Fields, and you know, you know, he lit into our team about let's get some touches, and so we kind of switched up our offense a little bit, and ran some 1-3-1 stuff where we had somebody out the short corner in the corners, and we got her some more touches, and what that created a lot. I think that created more offense. And then I mean we hit 10 threes that game, so you know, especially in the second half. So we had some big shots. You know, I think Kiki Veal had 5 of them, so she shot the ball a lot better in the second half, and were able to kind of come close and stuff. But I think pressing, we're gonna, instead of just going out into the whole game and try to create a game of habit from the beginning, because that's kind of how they want to play. I think we kind of slow it down and we just pick our spots and when we need it. The good thing about playing them is they don't never stop shooting. You know, I kind of like that. You know, it's kind of like no matter if they're winning or losing, you know. So we'll always have an opportunity to get back in the team. That's how I feel.
You said felt pretty good after the game against Arkansas Little Rock. How did they take the positives from that? Because it almost felt like they won the game coming from behind from so far, and try to put the Arkansas State game behind them.
Yeah, I mean, both of them were really, really productive for us. You know, even though coming back is great, and we've done that quite a few times, so we know we can do that. But the Arkansas State game was like, you know, they just kind of punched us in the mouth. You know, like Stevie would say, it's like they just, I mean, they just did, and we did not respond like we should have. And so after that, I think we got more out of that game. You know, last year we got beat by 40 or 50. And they went into the Western Kentucky game and played a phenomenal game, just didn't finish, you know. But that was back when we were playing 6 players. Now we're playing 8 players, so I mean, I think that's going to make a difference in the tournament. It's all we probably really need in how we're going to play. So both games gave us some positive things. But for me as a coach, I'm looking at right now, I need to find out what we can do. I got to quit worrying about what we can't do. You know, that's over with. You know, we can't do this, we can't do that. I coach like that a lot during the year, so they know our philosophy. But right now, we need to coach, our coaching staff needs to coach, what can we do, and what would we do best, and what you know, it's about the Lady Cajuns, right? It's about the Lady Cajuns, and see if we can get out and get just 3, I always say just 3 wins. It's, you know, to me, it's 3 games that you got to show up, and you got to play your best. And you know, that's what we're trying to do, is trying to get our kids to play the best they can. And we prepared 20 conference games, a lot. It's been a long conference season, so we're ready for the conference tournament. And wouldn't be better to get to the NCAA tournament this year as our 3rd year.
You mentioned Kia's athleticism as a defender. I mean, obviously her on-ball defense is something that kind of stands out, but what she does as a rebounder, is that something, when y'all see that, is that something that even surprises you and maybe the rest of the staff, just what she does as a rebounder?
Well, not really. It's kind of unfair. I've been watching her play since she's 9 years old, and she's always been like that. You know, she's the energizer bunny. Like, she just doesn't stop. And you talk about on-ball defense. How about that play she made in Little Rock game where she's at half court and they throw it to the girl for a layup, and she's able to make a steal without a foul and get the ball on the court. I mean, it's just no buy. I mean, I don't know, if she's not Defensive Player of the Year for the conference, I'd be really, really surprised. And she can jump. I mean, she's grabbing the rim. You know, she's 5'5", and she's just so athletic. But the thing about it's biggest on her is her heart. You know, she never quits, and she takes pride in her defense. You know, on ball. Actually, sometimes I think she overhelps too much. You know, she gives up. Sometimes she helps over instead of 1 into 2 people. And then, you know, taking charge. And we started the game in Arkansas State with a charge that they didn't call, that I thought was big, because she took it and she was there. And I mean, you come down, 10 minutes later, Jay, and they call the same play again. You know, it's just, but she is a phenomenal player. She brings it, but she's like that in practice. That's what I'm hoping the younger kids look at and like, man, here you got the best defensive player. She brings this every day in practice. So it's good things for us. We still, this tournament right here, she's gonna have to show up and guard like she's been doing, keep the ball out the middle, and do what she does best.
Is that a good message to the rest of the team? That there isn't any warm-up period, there isn't any feeling out period or warm-up period for these games coming up? That we got to 30 seconds into it, we got to be going full speed.
Yeah, when we come off the bus, we got to be ready to play. It's going to be important to us. And I think they realize. I mean, I tell you, when we came off the plane in Lafayette yesterday, waiting for our bus to pick us up at the airport, the kids are they're ready right now. They're ready. I'm anxious to get to practice, right? Because I think we're going to have really two good ones, and we're going to have a great strategy for what we're trying to do. So I mean, this is the healthiest we've been all year. Our mindsets are good, so it's going to be, hey, can we compete with the best teams in the conference? This is what it's about. We always talk about that. Hey, we always don't want to play the worst teams. We want to play the best teams, and here we go.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Okay.
Thank y'all.